And I think it's time for us to round out the big boys of the Wave 1 of the Transformers Earthrise line. And who better to round us out right now for the big boys than this big boy? It is the Earthrise Grapple. And he is going to be our focus this time around in the latest GotBot True review. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble host, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, that's right man, hit that notification bell because it lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel, from stop motions to countdowns to reviews like these and everything in between. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, Transformers Collectors, NL, and the Autobot family. Have a look for me everywhere across social media, and I am smitten with this guy. I think he's the sleeper hit of Wave 1. I think he is amazing, top to bottom. We're going to compare him with this older lad, and normally it would be a matter of one replacing the other. Is it close? Blah, blah, blah. We've done it already with Optimus and Starscream. In this case, there's no comparison. The Earthrise is going to win. Does that make this guy invalid? Not really. In fact, he might find new life as someone else, namely Holler. But just why am I so smitten with this guy? Just how good is he? Well, we're about to find out when we head over to the table. You guessed it. And take a closer look at this guy. And here's my beefy boy known as Grapple. This is Voyager class Grapple, and I'm going to tell you now, on screen does not do justice to his glorious, beautiful orange color. We are going to compare him to the Solar Storm Grapple from the Reveal the Shield line, but I'm telling you right now, this guy wins hands down as that character. That being said, will I find a place for that other Grapple? Absolutely, but undoubtedly this one is the winner. We're going to begin and take a look at that packaging first. And it's your nice Earthrise packaging. We have a beautiful version of Grapple over here, both with the hook hand and with his like little blaster hand thing. I think that's really cool. The typical on this side. Over here we have him with Sound Barrier, I think is the guy's name. He hasn't shown up here. He turns into a plank. He transforms into a plank. It's ridiculous. I get why, but like, it's kind of foolish. Just saying. Gorgeous, however. I love this. I really, really do. Yeah, nice artwork. In terms of accessories and stuff, we are going to begin with his gorgeous, big, bright instructions. I love what they're doing here. Siege had good instructions. Earthrise has good instructions. By the way, speaking of instructions, I accidentally skipped Starscream's in his review, but really was it needed? I think we all know how that Starscream transforms. If you haven't already, hey, check out my review comparing him and the Siege one. And Grapple, or Grapple, as many have become fond of calling him, comes with this beautifully molded black blaster. The Solar Storm Grapple didn't come with a blaster. He also comes with this weird four-pronged hook thing, and apparently this is what allows him to connect to like Sound Barrier or like other bases and stuff in Earthrise. I guess by that piece in the center. I don't know. And he comes with this little silver nozzle thing, just like he had in G1. I could understand why some people would prefer it in black, but I'm kind of glad it was done in silver. And here's the beautiful boy in all of his glory. I'm gonna tell you now, his paint apps are, 137. They're fantastic. The coloration is ideal. It's perfect. Flawlessly done. And with his accessories, I will now forever have this hand over here flipped in with his little nozzle thing on it, as it should be. He holds his blaster just fine. The other hook piece, like you can put it in his hand, like you can flip his hand in, as we all know, I think by now, there's a 5mm port there. You can put the actual grappling hook in there. I prefer to leave it down there because there's a little hook there, but when you kind of fold that the right way, you can put this grappling hook in there and it works just fine. Very, very versatile. Absolutely gorgeous. Compared to his counterpart, the Solar Storm Grapple, hard to believe that these are even considered the same character, and for me they no longer will be. The idea was thrown out to me, shout out to Masterfire, the idea was thrown out that the Solar Storm Grapple could be, say, a shattered glass version of Grapple. That's very viable. For me, I'm going to use it as Holler. Now, I know most people believe that Holler and Grapple are actually the same character, as do I. But you know what? Both of these molds are very good for what they are, and I'm okay with having Holler and Grapple be two separate characters. It gives me the justification to have both of these guys. I will say this, the Earthrise orange is exceptionally more orange. It's gorgeous. Absolutely, positively gorgeous. Now, to be fair, I looked at Solar Storm Grapple way back in episode 28. I said his paint apps were 9. And honestly, at the time, I thought they were. My biggest complaint was that he had his crane on his arm instead of hanging down his back. But even the back was filled in, and I thought that they'd done an admirable job with it. Like I said, this is like 132. This is perfect. So this one obviously wins. In terms of articulation, I said that the Solar Storm Grapple was an 8. This guy, you know what? Let's just do it, man. He has a head that can go left and right. Doesn't really look up or down. The arms, they can go all the way around. Shoulder all the way out. We have... Some people have said that he doesn't have a 90 degree. Yes, mine does. Mine's slightly over. Mine's probably 95 degrees. Bicep swivel. The wrists rotate in, but there's no actual wrist swivel, which is a bit of a shame, admittedly. Does he have a waist? This one has a waist. That's something that the Solar Storm Grapple does not have. Legs all the way forward, way farther than the Solar Storm Grapple. His are limited because of the molding. Legs all the way back. You wouldn't think with that piece hanging down the back, though that piece is animation accurate, but all the way back, we have a thigh. We have 90 degrees at the knee. We have ankle tilt. We even have toe tilt down and forward. This is, I think, this is ideal. This is ideal. Articulation 10. Absolutely 10. I love this guy. The conversion, let's jump into that, I guess. We'll take this out of his hand and we'll fold in this hand as well. We're going to take this piece off of this hand over here. We're going to lay those to the side. I'm going to leave this hook piece in here because why not? And we're going to detach his head. It goes down between these starts up on the top here. By the way, the front of this is all painted, I think. We're going to extend this out. We're going to take the whole head piece and flip it around a la G1. I'm going to bring this up over for now. We're just going to leave this here for now, kind of out of the way. Okay. Then we're going to take the arms here and flip them forward. We're going to flip them in behind, again, very G1, and in behind, again, very G1. There is a peg and a tab on the arms, so you orient them the right way, and the arms will tab together. Straighten that up. Then we come down to the feet here. We straighten them out like that. Same with the other foot, straighten it out like that. We can put that piece down. Now, this is when things start to get ever so slightly tricky. We're going to bring the arms back first. And when we bring the arms back, there's a little round peg here and here that goes up into, I'm going to say holes on the arms, but really they're holes that pins are in. So you're kind of bringing this back and putting them into pinholes. They fit in there no problem. They're not the most secure in the world, but they don't need to be. They're just more kind of guides. How much stability do they add? I don't know, not a ton. We straighten this up. We can turn this around. And we can, oh, sorry, we don't turn that around. We turn it around this way and extend it out and then down. How do I know the difference? Because on the bottom of this crane, it's hollow. On the top, it's not. So the top is you know, there you go. Then we get to the most infamous part of this guy. We have hexagonal holes, we have rounded pegs. It's almost like trying to put a round peg in a square hole. Again, I understand that people have broken these. I've spent time putting them in and taking them out, putting them in, taking them out, putting them in, taking them out. Yeah, you get where this is going. And kind of widening the holes. You could try sanding down the pegs, but I think that if you are having issues, it's worth trying to widen the holes a little bit. Not much, because you still want it snug, but I think it's worth kind of doing it just a little bit. Then we have our couple of accessories that are left. We have a little rectangular tab right there, and we could take this thing. Is it right there? Maybe it's up a bit. No, maybe it is right there. There we go. And it can go on right there. And I don't know, you can take the blaster and there's pegs on the side. I guess you could take the blaster and put it there, I suppose. Something like that. Yeah, something like that. But in the end, boom, here we have Glorious Grapple in all of his beautiful imagery. And here we can see both of them. Obviously, the older one is the bigger one, but I really, really love seeing the new Earthrise one. I think it doesn't feel small. He feels good. He feels hefty. He feels correct, if I'm being honest. Someone mentioned that they could see this new Earthrise Grapple being recolored into blue to become Mudflap. Yeah, I guess I could see that. I suppose I could see it. I don't think it'd be for me, but for anybody who's I think he came from RID, if I'm not mistaken, then like, I get it. I totally get that, how you could do that. Definitely we're going to see an Inferno out of this, no doubt in my mind. Possibly an Artfire, who knows. But I think it's fantastic. So when we look at the final analysis here, the original scored an 8 for paint, a 9 for paint, an 8 for articulation, and a 10 for his transformation. He was a 9. The new one is 132 for his paint. He is a 10 for his articulation. Honestly, he is, for his transformation, he's also a 10. I think that the new Grapple so far, for me, is my favorite from Wave 1. Don't have the deluxes yet, so that could change. But so far, for what we've taken a look at, you and me here on the channel, he is bar none my favorite. I think he was a sleeper slam dunk hit. And now, since we're here, just before we go, I'm going to show kind of how I deal with those pegs in the back. I don't know. Let's hope I don't break them, because honestly, if it was going to happen, this would be the time that it's going to happen. I tend to come kind of more in here and pick that one off. And again, I put my finger in here and I pick that one off. I don't wiggle them. I make sure that I securely hold both sides in here, and then I pull straight down slowly. And it works for me. I don't have any stress marks or anything, but I would advise, honestly, just when you get this guy, like, start sliding it in and like kind of unpegging it again, and work the peg and the hexagonal slot that it goes into a little bit, and honestly, the tolerance will probably improve. I would rather put in a little bit of extra effort than to have something break, for me or for you. And here we are once again, and here he is, and what can I say? There's nothing here that I dislike. Not one thing. I adore the paint. I love how the orange pops. Like, it amazingly pops. And it's a stark contrast to the black. And still we have some silver and some blue and a nice Autobot symbol. Like, there's enough here that breaks it up in a very interesting way. The accessories are great. They're fantastic. The articulation is second to none. You would think that this would be obtrusive in the back. It's animation accurate. It's not even slightly obtrusive. It's handled excellent. The conversion is smooth, seamless. Yes, I know some people have broken those pegs. Really, when you go down like this, really when you're trying to peg it in right here, but I stand by my advice. Go and try pegging the pegs in there and taking them out a few times to kind of wear the plastic down a little bit, maybe widen the hole a little bit. I get the danger. Be aware of what you're doing, but I don't feel like I'm going to break mine. I don't know. And I feel bad for those who have, that's been their experience, because honestly, I feel like, for my experience, this is the sleeper hit of Wave 1. This is, so far, and I don't have deluxes or anything, but for what we've looked at so far, this guy is far and away the best of the bunch. That's my take on it. And since this guy's still good, I'm kind of happy to call him Holler. I get that there's, you know, a lot of different arguments, but like, honestly, they're both good for different reasons. But in terms of a representation of Grapple, come on, come on. And that's my biggest argument, and that is my biggest defense. Let me know what you guys think about this guy. You know I love to hear from you. I appreciate you coming by. Give me some of your extremely valuable time. I know how important it is to you. Of course, if you're in a position to help the channel grow, use the donate link down in the description. Please hit that subscribe button. It helps me out so very much. Don't forget, somehow, some way, each and every day, you do make a difference. And most importantly, I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams, at the stop motion premieres, or right here the old-fashioned way, man, inside the videos.